My name is Giselle Rivera. I will be presenting the shape of the brain and its structures for my human anatomy course. To begin with, I will go ahead and put on my gloves. You normally wear an apron, but I'm not wearing one because my brain has already been sitting out for, I want to say at least 45 minutes, so it's a little dry. And the fact that it's a little hot, it's making it a little more dry. So it's not as wet as it was when I first opened it and dissected and took the little sheet that has over it, over the brain. So I'm going to go ahead and begin introducing the lobes of the brain. The frontal lobe of the brain, which is this here. Then we have the parietal lobes, which there's two. And then we have the temporals on the side. And then on the back, we have the occipital. Next, I will be going over what a gyrus is. A gyrus is the ridge fold between two clefts. So it's like these folds, if you can see them here. They're supposed to be more like folds in between. And so this is one, this is another one in between the lines. And then the ridges in between them, that's the sulcus. It's a groove or a furrow. It's like a line kind of dented in. Next, I will be going over what the longitudinal fissure is. And the longitudinal fissure is this line here going across the top of the head, dividing the head into the two hemispheres of the body, of the cerebral, of the cerebral head. I'm going to be going and showing what the lateral sulcus is and how it separates the temporal lobe from the parietal lobe. So the lateral sulcus is here on this side. That's why it's called lateral sulcus, and it's this line here. And that one is the earliest developing sulcus. It divides the frontal and the parietal lobe above the temporal lobe. I will also demonstrate the cerebellum, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. Sorry, my fan's on and my papers are blowing, but so the pons is back here. This is probably the best view we can get, and I'm going to use my pointer here. So the pons is, I want to say this part here, and then right below it we have the medulla oblongata. So the pons is the top of this. This is the cerebellum, but it's like the top in the corner of it, and then the medulla oblongata is right under that. After that, sorry, this is the cerebellum again. So cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. I'm trying to see what best part would describe. I could probably use it here and say that this is the cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. Next, I will be going over, which is like a ventral surface. I'm pointing out what the olfactory bulb is. And for that, I'm going to go ahead and face this up like this. So the olfactory bulb is the very top of this here. It's like a, kind of looks like to me it looks like an alien, and these are like the big eyes of the alien, the very top of the eye. That's the olfactory bulb. We also have the olfactory tract. And so the olfactory tracts are here. You can see them kind of going along the way here. And then followed by the optic nerve. And so the optic nerve kind of curves down into here. I think when I was dissecting this, it kind of broke off a little, but this is the optic nerve. And then we also have the optic chiasm. And the optic chiasm is this part of the body here of the optic nerve, because these connect to the eye. And then the middle part here is the optic chiasm. And then we have the cerebropundicle. The cerebropundicles kind of show to, it's hard to show here. It's part of the midbrain that links the remainder of the brainstem to the to the thalamus, and thereby these are the midbrain that have tracks that keep from running information from the cerebellum. So I'm not able to show it on here because it's more inside, but once we dissect this brain in half, we will be able to see it. The pituitary gland is right in the middle here. You can see it. I accidentally ripped it off a little bit. That's the pituitary gland in there. Kind of sits behind the optic nerves and behind the optic chiasm. Next, I will be introducing the cranial nerves. And so I've already introduced the cranial nerve 2. And so I will start with the, up here is the olfactory. And then next we have the optic. And then here on these parts right here, we have the oculomotor. And then coming up from the side, we have the trigeminal. And then right under that, we have the facial. Under the facial, we have the glossopharyngeal. And then towards all the way down here at the bottom, we have the vagus. On the other side, under olfactory, we have oculomotor right here. And then we have right below that, we have the trochlear. And then we have abducens. Out to the side is the vestibulocochlear, hypoglossal, and then the very last one, which is all the way like towards the bottom here, I will kind of lift it, is the accessory. So those are the 12 cranial nerves connected to our body.